Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your coach, friends, and I want to thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk about in this video the opportunities that you have to better your life in a 360 degrees during quarantines. Many people across the nation, they have been put in a quarantine situation around the world. Actually, there are people who have been put in a situation where we have to spend more time at home now, that we don't go out, and it is quite evident by the traffic on the road is clearly less. Government services, unless you're essential personnel, are not at work. Schools are out. So of course, many people are now at home. What advantages does that provide you? We're going to go over a couple of them in different realms of your life. So first, let's start with the important part. Right now, this is an opportunity for you to dive deeper into your own personal self-discoveries, to get to know yourself better, to get to understand who you are, to do research and to study and to broaden your horizon. This is the time frame for you to read, for you to gain deeper understanding, gain wisdom. This is a time for your spirituality to grow. This is a time frame where you can spend more time just evaluating the information you have, evaluating the information you're receiving, as well as growing in your thought process. As you know, I teach the trivium over and over again. This is gaining facts. We go out and we research, we get the information, we get the facts. We have availability of the internet and so many other different platforms to be able to, platforms within the internet to be able to gain knowledge. And we can take that knowledge. We got time now to really absorb it, time to study it, time to put it together. This is where understanding comes into play. Because oftentimes we're in such a rush environment, trying to get to work, trying to do the work, get home, and then trying to spend some family time, do whatever. But we don't spend that quality time of really getting to understand the information that we've been given. Many people go to their religious organizations and they sit and they listen. And as soon as they listen, they're out trying to take on the rest of the world. Time devoted to understanding what you've been told, not put into practice, not available, not there for you. Time to put it into practice, not there for you. So this is a time frame where we can go and do these sorts of things, gain this information, become more aware of who we are and everything and everyone around us, so that we can grow as divine spiritual beings. We can continue to grow and develop. That's one area. And you can take that in many different formats. And I'm not trying to push you into any different, what you should do or what you shouldn't do, what you should believe, what you should not believe. It's more about what works for you. What works for you? If what you're currently doing doesn't work for you, then it's time to research it and maybe make adjustments to it. If what is working, what you do follow works for you, then it's time for you to dive deeper into it. It's time for you to read between the lines, get a little esoteric and gain deeper levels of understanding of it, so that you can then apply it to your life. That's the other part. Let's apply these things to our life. This is where wisdom comes into play. It's when we take this information and we apply it. Let this opportunity, let this time frame make you into a better version of yourself, so that when you step outside the realm of your household, back into the world, let's not get caught back up into the same game, get caught back up into the same way of life. Life has changed, and it will change, regardless of how you feel about if this is real or fake. Life has changed. People are going to function differently. We will be in this situation, we have been in this situation for longer than it takes to develop a habit. And as we continue, we will develop new habits. That means this hypnotic rhythm of a lifestyle will now become more of a norm. Social distancing will become more of a norm. You will see that as soon as people are out of this, as soon as this crisis, this situation, this quarantine, this whole thing is over, or has lessened to the point where life starts to return back to normal, yes, people are going to go out and they're going to revel and they're going to spend money and they're going to go out to eat and shop and do all these things. And then they're going to settle back in. And when they settle back in, the question is, are you going to settle back into who you used to be, or are you going to settle into a new, better you? Many people are going to have slight changes because our society has now changed. We've had a pivotal moment of change in our society. But the question is, what are you going to be when it's over? What are you going to become? What will you now emphasize about your life? What change would have happened? And that's what we're talking about. So first, let's get some individual spiritual changes. Second, let's get some relationship changes. This is the second most important thing. I know you thought that I would probably go straight to money, to your wealth, but no. Because, we talk about your health, your wealth, your spirituality, and we talk about your relationships. So first was your spirituality. Second is your relationships. There are so many different memes and things that are cracking me up right now. People talking about, those that guy or that lady that was your mate. Now you're spending all this time with them. Do you still love them? Do you still like them? Do you still want to be around them? Have this time been in such close quarters and spending so much time with each other cause you to want to push away from each other? There's so much in that. And for those who are paying attention to my life, my wife and I will be starting a new YouTube page later on this evening called Tag Team Marriage. We were Tag Team Wedding in the Facebook group, but it'll call Tag Team Marriage. It's going to be a new YouTube channel where we're going to discuss relationships, marriage, and things of that nature. But this is an opportunity for you to develop deeper relationships with family, with friends. You're in the home, like in my home right now. Usually I shoot when no one's around so that things can be quiet and that sort of thing. At any moment, someone can come downstairs and invade this privacy. And this video is going to have like chit chatter in the background. I'm not changing any of that. I'm not going to edit it. It just is what it is. If it happens, the dog has already ran through here. Well, my daughter's dog already ran through here once. But the thing, in fact of the matter is, we have this golden opportunity to develop deeper relationship, to communicate, to call those people that we haven't called. To get in contact with people. I heard a quote from a movie last night, The Green Book, and I hate that I forgot it all. I don't have it in its complete exact quote, but he said something to the effect that the world is filled with lonely people who are too afraid to make the first move. It's something of that nature. It says basically the world is filled with people who are not communicating because we've been distracted by work and by life and by all these other things that we've let relationship with our brothers and sisters, our mothers, our fathers, our wives, our children. We've let them like slip away. And each side is afraid to make that first step. And even in the relationship that you have with the people in your home, here's an opportunity to develop those even more so, to grow those relationships. So the question is, are you going to grow those relationships? Are you going to dig deeper into who you are, who they are, and how well you connect? What are the areas that are taking you away from each other, that's causing a divide? And what are the areas and things that are distracting you? I mean, we have less distractions right now. So are we using that to find new distractions? Are we spending more time ignoring each other? Y'all know how I feel about that dang scrolling when you're with your mate. You know that. Are we finding more time to scroll and ignore your mate, or ignore your family members? Are we finding more time to do things that keep you separated within the home? Or are we watching movies together? Are we binging television shows together? Are we meditating together? Are we studying together? Are we just sitting down and talking together? Many of you don't have dinner together on the norm. Are we having breakfast, lunch, dinner together, sitting at the table and discussing who we are and how things are? Are we taking that time? So this is a grand opportunity for that. The next thing is your health. Oh my gosh. I saw this one meme. It was so funny. And I forgot the name of the person, but it had like Janice. And it was a woman, and she had on like a red negligee. I'm going to try to find it and throw it up here. And it had her during the quarantine in her negligee looking in the refrigerator. And then it had like after the quarantine. And then she was like 200 pounds bigger in the same negligee, so it was showing that in this time frame we've stored up on food. Many people are in countries where you can store up on food, and we've stored up, and people are sitting around with just eating. And I said before in my video about Corona, about how all the natural foods were still in the grocery store, where all the processed foods were emptied out. All the bread is gone. So the thing is, are you sitting around? This is an opportunity. Me and my family, we stretched and meditated the other day, and I put that video out, but we continue to do that. Are we exercising? Are we, exercising in the home, in our neighborhoods, in places where we can maintain social distancing, like big parks? Are we staying away from people, but still able to remain active? If you've been waiting for an opportunity to get your health kick on, this is a grand opportunity to get your health kick on. This is an opportunity. You can study. You can research recipes and how to cook full vegetarian meals that taste great. My daughter made a meal last night that was like so on point. It was like a meatless seafood boil. because we don't eat seafood, but it was a meatless seafood boil. And when I tell you, it was on point. I was like, we can sell this. I open up a restaurant and sell this right here. This was on point. But it was amazing. And she was just researched and found the recipe, and she made it. This is an opportunity for you to grow in that area where you can research new dietary ways of eating, new recipes, so that you can go on a healthier diet and enjoy the food that you're eating. So these are opportunities that we have right now. There are tons of opportunities. So now let's get to one of my favorite, of course, financial. What are the financial opportunities right now? Many people are always telling me, I want to start a business. I want to start my business. I don't have time to start my business. I don't have time to work on it because I'm always at work. I work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever how many hours I work. Now you're at home more. You have the opportunity. Many of you are sleeping your days away, sleeping it away. There is wisdom that says something to the effect that a man who loves his sleep, I think it says he's a fool, or he will starve, or he's something negative. It's something negative after that. I can't remember it exactly. It was it's been a minute since I read it, but I remember it says something about that. It's in the Torah, the Hebrew Bible, where it says a man who loves his sleep is like a fool, or something like that. Many of you are sleeping this quarantine away. You're just sleeping it away. You're acting like people who are in prisons and jails, where they sleep the day away and stay awake all night. You cannot get caught in this trap of sleeping the day away. My nephew was doing his. They did a dial-in for their class today, or online for school today, and I heard one of the students talk about how he's been staying up late and waking up later in the day. So let's not make that the habit or the norm. This is the opportunity for you to get up and treat the day like a work day, but work on your business, work on the opportunity that you have, build your brand. If you've been looking to build your brand on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, this is an opportunity for you to make video after video after video, to make post, to brand yourself even more so, to put information, to get your marketing out. I'm looking at it in the same way because I made another shift in my life during this mode. And if you've been paying attention, I have been posting links to a new channel that I created called The Reed Real Estate Firm. Well, the company is The Reed Real Estate Firm. The paid YouTube group is Homes for Sale Atlanta. And I've been touring homes and showing you home tours. I did a $1.289 million home yesterday and posted that on that page of Homes for Sale Atlanta. This is an opportunity to go out there and brand that. Let's look at this. Let's stay in that realm for a second. If you've been looking to buy a house, this is a great opportunity. I'm going to do a whole video for this on my YouTube channel for real estate. But let me give you guys a little bit. If you've been looking to buy a house, this is the great opportunity to buy a house. The first thing that happened when the stock market kept dwindling a few weeks ago, people saw that the Fed rate was slashed. Now, when the Fed rate is slashed, that actually hurts mortgages, causes an increase in mortgage rates. But because the stock market had its $2,000 loss, 2,000 point loss, I should say, that created many people putting their money into the bond market. When the money went into the bond market, the mortgage rate dropped to a low that it hasn't been since 1971. When it dropped to that low, now the first thing that happened, many people saw that as an opportunity. They went and bought new houses and they refinanced. Especially many refinanced, saving themselves tens of thousands of dollars over the life of a loan and $300-400 in their current payment. So many people refinance. Now, in order to take on all the new business that came in, the mortgage industry then raised it up. They went from like 3.2 to like 3.8, and it went up a tick so that it can stave off some of the influx of refinancing. But what did I wake up to today? They came out today and said that, I think the Fed came out and said they're not going to put a limit on the number of bonds you can buy, the amount of bonds you can buy, how much money you can put in the bonds. Now, I'm going to research that a little bit more before I make the full video about it. But what that should indicate is that money is going to go back into the bond market at a heavy load again, which should cause the interest rate to kind of stabilize and stay in that 3 area if you have, and understand, you're getting the 3 if you have that top tier credit. But Whereas if you had like a 600 credit score or a 580 credit score and you were getting like 7 or 8%, you now can get about 5%, 5 and 6%. So this is the opportunity that if you were in the process of getting ready to buy a house, it's time to go buy a house right now. If you're operating a business, and I'm going to add this as well, the SBA has a disaster relief program. You should be investigating this disaster relief program with the SBA. So there are tons of opportunities right now for you to change your finances, for you to develop your brand, to grow your company, to build your company. Yeah, not every company can grow during this time frame. I understand that. Some goods companies are going to suffer. Some service companies are going to suffer. Not everything. This is not a grand opportunity for every business. So evaluate your opportunity, your business, and see if this is an opportunity for you to grow. For my father, he had a company when he was alive. His company was Reed Insulation Windows and Doors. And he lived in Florida. He was in Florida. And he used to always tell me when the hurricanes were coming or a big storm was coming, he was like, please, come on, hit Tampa. He was the only person I knew of who was begging for the storm to come. Why? Because even though the storm damaged windows and roofs and things of that nature, it created a boom for his business. Yes, one person's hardship is another person's boom. It's just the way things are. It's just the way life works. One person's trash is another person's treasure. It's just the way life works. I never want someone to go through a state of suffering, but when you are in a situation where it provides an opportunity for you to grow, to do better, take the opportunity. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting back, and especially my people will sit back and they will see all the companies and all the branding and all the opportunities that happen today, all the people who are going to, if something is not done quickly, the people who will lose their businesses, lose their spaces that they're leasing, I've called two places that are leasing spaces for my popcorn company today. There are going to be some people who are going to survive this. Their business is not going to. Their home is not going to survive this, which means that for those in position, who put themselves in position, they will have an opportunity to grow. Many people are at home right now. They're watching YouTube. They're watching Facebook and Instagram like a big dog. This is your time to brand. This is the time to understand branding, to understand marketing, to understand how to get your information out. For those who are not willing to do it now, you're going to be pissed because in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year from now, you're going to say, oh, look at all these people who took advantage of it. They just saw this opportunity. They just took advantage of people. Same opportunity was there for you too. You just decided not to move. You decided not to move. You decided not to increase your vibration in that pathway, to raise you up that polarity scale. Don't blame others for your lack of taking an opportunity. It is all up to you. It is your opportunity. As Marcus Aurelius said, it is up to you. The buck stops right here with you. Yes, there are always obstacles, but only you can allow those obstacles to stop you. So remember, you cannot let anyone else define you. Any labels they put on you will negate you and now makes you exactly whatever that label is. So if you're going to be a person who sits back and allow this to be a time where you just complain, do nothing, you don't make your relationships better, you don't make your spirituality better, you don't make yourself better, you don't make your health better, you don't make your finances better, the only person you're going to be able to blame at the end of this is you. If everything in your life becomes damaged, then the only person you're really going to be able to blame is you. If everything. Some things are out of your control, but not everything. So don't sit back and allow this to deflate you, allow this to destroy you, allow this to put you in a worse situation than you were in before it started. This is your opportunity to grow and become the greatest version of yourself. So I just want you guys to understand that, know that, continue to support the channel, continue to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Go over to my new page, Home for Sale Atlanta, and subscribe, and look out for me and my wife doing our show tonight. Go over and subscribe to that channel. It's going to be called Tag Team Marriage. Do that now because it'll be up by the time this video has come up. Do it now and enjoy it, and grow with this opportunity. And remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Oh yeah, go shop at Uncle Ren's Popcorn. The letter U, the letter R, the word popcorn.com. Continue to support the channel. Y'all have a great day.